Thank you very much, Comrade Edie, who's also the director of the proceedings. Honorable Minister, Honorable Agnes Chongarero, the Minister of Sport, Youth and National Service. I also recognize the presence of the chairperson for the Sports Commission, and as well as your management team, the commissioner who was represented for the National Youth Service, represented by Mr. George Nkukela, and also the Sports Directorate present here. Gymnasium, I think I should say my old friend, not a new friend, Ms. Ricketts. Heads of representatives of all Namibian sports federation present, captains of the industry. I recognize the presence of one of our sponsors from FNB and all our corporate sponsors for the Sports Expo. Distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm only hearing myself. Thank you. You know, the choir was such a refreshing one with the anthem. So I was thinking about my school years, even though I never made it to the school choir. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to welcome you at this very special occasion that marks the launch of the Namibia Annual Sports Expo that is to be hosted by the Sports Commission in collaboration with the ministry responsible for sports. I would like to extend a special welcome to our minister, who's our keynote speaker, and all the other dignitaries present. I acknowledge the presence and give a warm welcome to Gerrit van Zyl. I know he's one of our guest speakers. I would also like to make use of this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to His Excellency, the Vice President, who was supposed to be the keynote speaker, but in his absentia, for his continued support to our ministry and its programs. You may recall a few months ago, we hosted the Vice President at the National Youth Service for the pass-out parade, so we really appreciate his support. To our dignitaries and everyone present here today, we are delighted to have you and to share with us our achievement as we launch the second edition of the Namibia Sports Expo. You may recall that the inaugural one was launched in 2019, of which I had the honor again to deliver the welcoming remarks. So your presence here today really serves as a reminder to all of us just how important sport is. In the same vein, I would like to reiterate the commitment of the ministry to provide an enabling environment for sports, and as the ministry that's responsible and entrusted with the development of sports, we are indeed intensifying our efforts to realize just that. Director of Proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me, as the ED has alluded to earlier, that COVID-19 has not spared an industry, and a sport industry will also affect it, as the second edition of Nase was supposed to be launched last year, 2020, but could not materialize due to this disruption. However, that has forced us to hasten our efforts to innovate and to bring you the Expo in a different format. So the speaker on the program will elaborate on the details as we proceed with the launch this morning. The achievements of our sports heroes and heroine over the last, I think it's 2 months, has brought us really the much needed social cohesion and the sense of joy for the entire nation. We have seen the medals that we have achieved at the Olympics, both the Olympics and Paralympics, Under 20 World Athletics Championship, and this has really shown that as Namibians we are resilient. It has demonstrated the patriotism and hard work by our athletes to ensure that they bring medals home. So this is something that we surely have much to be excited about. As we proceed with the launch of the Namibia Sports Expo, we appreciate the companies We appreciate the organizations who have accepted the responsibility to augment government's efforts and to provide for our youth, to ensure that they can participate in national and international competitions, to ensure that we are able to host initiatives such as this. Investing in youth is a prerequisite for building a sustainable future, and it's a high priority that we provide young people with the skills and opportunities they need through mobilizing of smart partnerships such as this. We remain committed. We have a huge task to professionalize sport in the country, and platforms such as Expo will then ensure that these conversations take place, including our recently National Youth Policy 3 that have identified an opportunity in sport as one that will create employment for the young Namibians. As a ministry, we continue to advocate for good governance practices, as we know that this is a precondition for sustainable development, and we have the image of our sponsors to uphold. So we believe that governance will build trust, and it will instill that confidence from our sponsors. Director of Proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, even though a formal vote of thanks is expected at the conclusion of the program, allow me to launch my appreciation to the organizing committee for their hard work. And as we mark this important day on the calendar of both the Sports Commission and the Ministry, I want to welcome you to this launch wholeheartedly. I thank you.
You know, a few weeks ago, I would never do this on a Saturday morning. Back then, I was standing in line all day. Now it's just like that.
You are using the FNB banking app like I told you.
Girl, it saved my weekend. Now I can do all my banking on this.
Payments, transfers, checking statements.
Even opening accounts. Just like that. Oh, did I tell you what my husband did?
Even me, I want to save time with the, what's the name of the app?
FNB app.
Don't be left behind. Make the switch to the FNB app, online banking or cell phone banking, and change the way you bank to change your life. FNB, how can we help you?